but Koa holds it around the outside and he gets a way better
take
exit.
it.
Pushing hard, already 3 wide into turn 1.
A little bit, and a group of Astons just piling up on him, trying to hold everybody off. Push him wide a little bit. Oh, but you can't make it stick.
Boonstra is able to hold the inside.
Got a little overlap, but he can't do it.
Ooh, and he just caught it.
Mr. Sir and King are banging doors.
Oh, shoot.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Welcome everyone to the season finale of Sim Racing Alliance Division 4. With me on the desk, Waleed Sadat, a little invisible there at the start. I'm Taylor Mano. How you doing, Waleed?
Doing good. Was hiding underwater, being sneaky as things go.
We got you back now, but it is going to be an interesting race as we do have some drivers championship battles going on. Not only for the mid pack of the field, but the front pack. So we'll get to those a bit later. But right now it is a extremely wet day in Silverstone, and the race is going to be at night. But qualifying looks to be in the daytime for now. But while all the silver drivers head out, setting up to do their warm-up laps, do you want to run through our track map?
Yeah, sounds good. I wasn't joking when I said I was hiding in the water. It's real wet. So we look at our track map that reflects the F1 track, but we make do. Turn 8 would be the starting straight into turn 9, and then straight into Maggots and Beckett's. The hangar straight right after that sequence of corners is definitely going to be a high action zone. Look for Porsches to get chewed up down the hangar straight, and then try to recover the position on the brakes. Beyond that, you have a little bit of a technical section going on to the old start-finish straight, or the F1 start-finish straight, which I still don't fully understand how to take this section, particularly that corner. Some more curves, a couple hairpins, another straight, and then another corner I, for the life of me, can't figure out, leading back on to the start-finish straight. A lot of action, a lot of high-speed cornering. High downforce cars will do really well here. The McLaren does well. Should be a fun race. Every car has some sort of advantage somewhere here, except for the rider.
Is a lot of technical ability to go into some of these cars, and each lap is going to be completely different based on what you are doing. Speaking of what our drivers are doing, they are all on track right now, warming up their tires, our silver drivers. It's a little daytime, but that sunset will fall when it comes race. Actually, it will be completely dark. Driver 162 leads the way. Who is that?
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo. Come here, Lorenzo. We'll catch your action. So like we were saying, a lot of these corners are extremely difficult, especially when you add on the niceness of the wet. Right now, track is medium wet, and silver drivers are not going to get the niceness of this, but real quick, let me do my spiel. If you're new here, welcome to the final race of the season that decides everything. We do qualifying a little differently here at Sim Racing Alliance. We have a 20-minute qualifying session split up into gold and silver drivers. Silvers will take the first 10 minutes. Golds will take the second 10 minutes. And if you're asking yourself who's silver, who's gold, I direct your attention to the left side of the screen. Every driver with a silver number plate will be your silver drivers. Every driver with a white number plate will be your gold drivers. And we are watching Lorenzo, who is staying out in a decent banker lap, but these times should ramp up as we go along and the dry line kind of starts forming.
Yeah, and something to note, I've seen yellow flags flash a couple times with people just jumping right back to the pits, so clearly having some issue with the fully soaked line that hasn't been dried out by laps yet.
I mean, the only practice I got was a fully soaked line, and we can see drivers having difficulty with it. One of those drivers being Lorenzo, as we're watching, going a little deep on both of those corners, is still able to keep the car alive right now. But this is going to be a tricky race, and the fact that it's going to be pitch black at dark time, there's going to be no sunlight at all, is going to be scary for a lot of these drivers.
That and, the Honda generally wants to kill you, so how he's going to balance those two things will be very interesting.
Speaking of cars, I know you mentioned your McLarens are going to do decently well here, but we throw in the added rain aspect, and that kind of switches the order up. So what kind of cars are we looking to see on top?
I think the Ferraris would do really well. Ferrari, decent in Silverstone, decent in the wet, in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I am slow. I really like the Porsche in the wet. I feel like with the engine over the back, you get a lot of exit traction, which is true in the dry, but it's exacerbated in the wet. You get more of an advantage over your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
But it also is kind of a knife-edge thing to drive. I think the Astons are going to struggle. I don't know what it is, but I think the Astons are going to struggle. Everything I've seen so far in the practice servers are Astons backwards in the grass.
Well, we can see the Honda struggling with Lorenzo.
And as I said, that Rodriguez yellow flags in an Aston.
As a 15.8, not a blistering time to say the least. The Mercedes behind him not able to set a valid lap. Aston Martin is on top of a 212.7. Lorenzo has a lot of time to make up and is currently doing so through Maggots Beckett's. Donahue and the Porsche going to be just a 10th behind Recton. 12.8 is their time currently. This Lorenzo is losing the rear end and will be spinning out here. They will have to start a whole new lap.
That will not be the last time we see that happen.
No. John Donahue. Someone who's been trying to get on the rise. This might be his week. If I know Donahue and the Porsche, he usually has it nailed down. At least for qualifying, it's when the race comes in is when he starts getting a little bit wonky. But that is
Then you get out on bail.
Not that is not how you hold an apex, Donahue. Right now, we see a Mercedes kind of leading the pack.
McKechnie, yeah.
Etched.
Invalidated his last lap. It was a decent lap, but it was invalidated. So let's see how he does with this lap right now.
Ockendorf in the Audi, currently up 5/10. That car may do well here. A lot of power to kind of make up the loss in these wet corners. Everyone's going to be struggling in these wet corners, so maybe the power helps out in the straight.
I mean, if in doubt, plant foot, right? That's a pretty good strategy for racing cars.
Well, maybe not in the wet.
Let's talk about it. Traction is a poor man's concern.
You, especially on that turn, last turn for the F1 circuit, our turn, well, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, our turn 9 for us.
Yes.
You plant the throttle wrong, you're oversteering and going into the inside wall.
It's fun till you hit the wall.
Yeah.
Go for the ride.
As McKechnie sets the fastest lap for just a second, 12.2, and then immediately gets dominated by Donahue and Recton. Recton going to put in a 11.4, which is a blistering time for this track, and we should see these times ramp up pretty rapidly across the board.
Recton already 6/10, 7/10 up, 8/10 up, 9/10 up. Woof.
That dry line is starting to form, and you want to be on track at the last possible second for your classes. Dockendorf not going to get the best of the final turn there, so we'll lose out a little bit. We'll be able to jump up a few positions, but not a lot. Yep, just P10 for them. So Madison jumping up into top 3, not far behind Donahue, but still about 5/10 behind.
Makes my call about the Astons look real poor. Thanks, guys.
Yep. These Porsches are a bit spread out, though. I mean, we still have a good bit of Porsches to come up in the gold division, as Donahue's going to have to back out of his lap, as Lorenzo, I believe, is on a valid lap there. He is. So Donahue going to have to back out of that. Not going to be able to overtake, because that is a rule in our series where you cannot, well, you'll be able to overtake now, but it doesn't matter. Point. unless you invalidate the lap, you cannot overtake the car in front of you unless the car in front of you invalidates or lets you by for a clear, slow down passing. So Donahue essentially lost 6/10 off his time there, and now it only is up 1.5 tenths. He will be able to get another lap in, but only one more if he can make it there. I believe he should.
Yeah, the field spread is really aggressive right now. 2:11.4 for current pole sitter, and bottom leaderboard 2:16.4. So
Yeah.
a 5-second spread, and we normally have like a 2-second spread.
I mean, we'll see when all the gold drivers come out. Normally, our top 10 to 15 will be all within 1 second. So, see how it goes as Rowley's having some issues trying to hold that corner. Gonna go a little deep, and it's still up a second as Recton's gonna be yellow flag. Gonna spend his qualifying session done for.
Whereas Cube Master actually is half a second up. That is good enough for P3.
And we'll be able to set another lap on this dry line now. Rowley's still looking to finish out his lap, rounding out the penultimate corner here. About 8 tenths up.
But behind him, Rodriguez is 1.8 tenths up.
I mean in front of him.
Enough. But yeah,
25.
hasn't been able to put a lap together. Rodriguez coming up 2 seconds up. Should be coming across the line after this corner in picture.
Ooh, Rowley is spun out. So that'll be the end of Wally.
Big yellow flashes. As Rodriguez managed to put a P5 down from P16.
Now look at our final runners. John Donahue was one of them. Was up 6/10 on his lap. Currently actually down on his lap. So that's an unfortunate series of events for him. See if he can make up any time in the section that he lost out on.
Lorenzo up 1.3. Greer up 2.4.
Madison, you're on board with him. Barely up a tenth. Actually not going to be up on his time at all. Might actually just sit here in P7 coming down the straight. Doesn't look like he has the greatest of exits. It's kind of matching his last one, just a little bit better. Donahue currently the only driver improving other than Lorenzo, who's 2 seconds up on his lap down in P16 right now. Look,
That Honda finally managed to put in a lap where he hasn't killed himself yet, but
now
2-3
that has
more
a
corners to
try
go. Yeah, that is try line.
Hold it there. Madison's going to cross the line. 4 tenths up, gaining time still. Had a good enough exit. We'll put him up in the P4. Donahue's going to go for P2 right behind him. We'll get that with an 11.5. And all cameras shift towards Lorenzo, who will only put it P14.
Great lap from him. 2-second improvement, but not enough to get some real gains in.
All the gold drivers get released, and the first of those gold drivers happens to be Davis.
So we see a couple yellow flags flash.
Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it is Davis and Zitko is currently in the battle for P1.
Oh, this would be good. They're right next to each other on track.
Essentially, whoever finishes ahead of the other one essentially will win the driver's standings or tie it in some fashion, depending on where they finish. But overall, it should be relatively whoever finishes in front of the other one will win the entire thing for the gold championship.
As it should be coming into the final race of the season.
Correct. And
Who do you have putting on pole then? Let's hear it.
I don't know. I haven't done, despite what a lot of people think, I haven't done a lot of scouting this week. I don't really know who's going to be on pole, and throwing in the wet at Silverstone kind of throws off the entire grid. So normally I'd say, oh yeah, Davis, Funk will be in the top 5, blah blah blah. But we're in the wet, and it throws things for a loop.
Is the Jag better or worse in the wet compared to a regular GT3 car? Is it the equalizer or is it the final blow?
That is an extremely good question. It goes back to the Aldi question, where is it a better car in the wet because it has that power? Everyone's going to be struggling in the corners. You just make up that struggle in the straights now. We'll see.
I prefer my struggles crooked.
On board with Riggs here. Davis ahead invalidating, sending it a little too far into. We'll have to go around and start again. Riggs trying to take advantage of any kind of dry line that has formed from Davis and all the silver drivers. Currently making it work a little bit.
As we're in picture, we're just following Zico because of the championship implications. He's about halfway, maybe a little bit less through his lap as he just comes out of the hangar straight.
This is the corner that Davis absolutely overshot it and went straight into the gravel. Zico's going to be able to loop that thing up perfectly.
Every week I say the Astons are going to struggle just because I'm like projecting and I want the Astons to struggle and they just don't.
I think you're just an Aston hater at this point.
Absolutely. I drove it once, I didn't like it, and since then it's been, nothing but vitriol.
Never again.
Never again. It's so floaty in the front.
Smart Riggs will put it P17. White Scarver going to jump ahead of him in P15. Platt going to be P6. Cockcroft will jump at P4. Potvin will jump P5. All the
taking advantage of the drying line. As looks like it is going to get more wet later post qualifying, but for now, taking advantage of the dry line.
Race is on the next day, so technically whatever we see happening in 30 minutes won't actually happen on the day of. Going to be on board with Davis on your main screen. See if he can set it out.
Funk is only good for P20 in the drag. Poor performance from the
might answer our race winner. Because Watts is P28, dead last right now.
As Zitko is now entering the exit in the final corner rather, and puts it in P15.
Not the strongest lap, but we still have 4.5 minutes left to qualifying, so it's about 2 laps, maybe 3, depending on how fast you can go. Fair is among our top gold sitters right now with a 11.4. That's going to be about 8 tenths off of Recton.
Woof. I wonder if the track is just slower at this point. Even with the dry line, it looks like it's Well,
we were actually supposed to either stay the same or get less rain. It looks like, according to radar. That radar doesn't always happen.
I don't believe the weatherman. He's right as often as he's wrong.
But yeah, these Jags might have finally found the track that they are just not at it here.
I will say Zico in P16 for qualifying, but he did set a purple sector 1, so I wonder if there's just a bunch of pace left for him.
Guarantee is for both of these drivers, Davis is going to go across the line for his first valid lap. We'll put it P3, 2:11.3, 6 tenths off of Recton. And he will invalidate his next lap, going wide at turn 1. Fair is looking to challenge Recton. Platt's going to put it P4. Fair is in P5 currently. Was 9 tenths up, dropped it down to 6 tenths in that one corner.
I just want to say that Zico is currently on pace for like a 2:10.0.
Oh my.
And as I say that, he loses half a second.
Caster curse, baby. There's one every week.
Oops. He's still valid though. He's still valid, and he's up 1-3, so it'll be a low 11. He'll be close with Davis.
It's okay, because as you said, he was saying we thought a 210 flat was insane. Marvin just came in with the Honda and said a 9.5.
Oh, 9.5.
And he's gaining time right now.
God.
So either this
Zico,
track
P2, 2:09.537. So he found the time back, setting a purple sector 1 and a purple sector 2.
Either this track is ramping up or drivers are now finally starting to get the hang of it.
The ass is taking a swim on my screen. We are checking.
Going swimming.
I have a scuba diving icon for a reason.
Yep. On board with Platt now. Gonna come down here to the turn 1 for F1, but not to us. Currently 2 tenths up on their time. Not enough to jump them up too high, but enough to get it. Zico, as we're watching him, only 100th off of Marvin, which is just absolutely insane to think about.
Yeah, and they're like 7 tenths clear of the next guy.
Yep. As I was about to say, Santos is actually gaining time actually put the throttle down a little too hard, spun the back wheels in that McLaren.
I don't think Davis is going to have
6-6.
time to do another lap.
He has about a minute to get to the line.
Oh, I didn't realize where he was on track. There we go. He started a valid lap, but this is his last lap.
Yeah, this will be his last lap. As all drivers crossing the line will actually have their last lap. Santos getting tied in the final sector. We'll be able to set a valid lap here, but actually losing out of that last corner. We'll go around again, knows where he messed up. Time to set down another burner, as he will stay P3 for the time being. Flat behind him, couple turn or in front of him in Maggots and Beckett's. Up 4/10 right now, 5/10.
Yeah, but he needs to find a second and change.
And lost 2/10, 3/10 out of Maggots and Beckett's. We are doing great work today, Wally.
Keeping it interesting. This Kokrov's up half a second. We'll jump to him.
Is here in picture window. I'm afraid to jump to Santos as he's up a half a second, and I don't want to cast a person.
I'm fine. What could go wrong? Zico's found a quarter second, 3/10, 4/10. And he's only 100th behind Marvin for P1 for pole. 5/10.
Davis is struggling, not finding any time. Only up 3/10 right now. I think he's going to have a rough start compared to Zico here.
Zico losing a lot of the time in game, but still holding a 2.5 gain, while Marvin in front of him is lost time. And as I say that, Zico's lost time, because, you know, that's just how this works.
That's how it be. Platt's still up 4/10 as we're on your main screen right now, coming into the final sector. Rain to be increasing here shortly if drivers don't get off the track in time. Marvin is actually now green again and has yellowed.
Invalidated his time. And so has Zitko, same spot.
Fortunately, it's a P1, P2 set in stone. Guess who's making a run for P1 right now? The driver I'm afraid to switch over to.
I'll jump to him.
I was going to jump to him after Platt, but that's okay. Platt, 6/10 up, coming down to the final stretch. Going across the line, we'll be able to jump up a couple positions. We'll get P4.
Like I said, the McLarens and Silverstone are good. It's an F1 track, and the McLarens tend to do well at F1 style circuits. He's up 5.8 tenths.
Calcroft out of nowhere going to be in P3. Santos not going to be able to jump up to P1. We'll reclaim P3. Cockcroft will get demoted to P4. Funk currently up with the Jaguar up 2/10. We'll put it P9, entering the pits.
I'll say for Santos, it's a much better feeling to be a 10th behind than to be 7/10 behind.
That is bold. Currently on track, 4/10 up. Believe Zach Sky is also on track, currently up on their time.
Yep, up 3/10, 4/10 and counting. Come to the last corner, 4.5 tenths. Good for P16.
Bullet's going to try and improve his way up from P12. We'll have a good bit of positions in him. P7 will go for gold. So Marvin, Zitko, Santos, Cockcroft, Platt will round out your top 5. Recton will lead the silver drivers down in P9, and John Donahue, P14 for the next silver driver. And it is
it's dark.
Nighttime. And it is
That's right after dark.
And it is wet, and only going to increase in a bit. So it's gonna be spicy. Everyone, hold on to your butts, as we will see a lot of spray from every single driver on track here.
I would like for them to turn their headlights on at some point.
They definitely will when we when they start driving around the track. But while we wait for that, let's go over some of these juicy standings that we have going on. Team standings, not so juicy.
Leftovers taken over.
Yeah, leftovers have all but run away with it. They would need to have an absolutely abysmal race. And I mean, Corey Davis is already setting off for probably one of his worst races of the season so far. Gold actually up there in P7. So unless both of them kind of DNF, don't finish, there's no real entrance for comfy competition to make their way. They would essentially need a 1-2. And doesn't look like that is going to happen. But The battle for P2 is still up for grabs for about 2 other people. Comfy Competition, Electric Funk, and Madhouse Racing Gingerbread Haas was up for grabs. Technically, the T-Rex Racing team of Madhouse Racing can still make it. Same with Grid Thieves Arizona. But they're going to need a lot of cards to kind of fall into their hands.
Yeah, a lot of 1-2 needed with other drivers not finishing.
Yeah, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know all the outcomes that could possibly happen here. But there's definitely a lot of outcomes that could happen in the midfield as it is more tightly packed in there compared to the front. Now let's get over to the main event. The driver's stand. Looking at it, we are in a 1-point battle with Corey Davis, who is currently starting on the grid in P17 versus Jacob Zitko, who's currently starting P2. Pat Cockcroft leads behind, Santos leads behind that, Funk behind that. And honestly, this championship is up for anyone if your cards fall right currently. But right now, we're going to be focused on Zitko and Davis. And of course, we'll show off the rest of the back of the grid, as well as our silver drivers are all there. I didn't actually catch who was our leader.
Of the silver drivers?
The silvers.
Recton.
Justin Rowley. Or no, Recton. You're right. My bad.
P15.
Recton. Justin Rowley could do it. Again, needs a bunch of stuff to kind of fall in place for him, but he definitely could do this. So keep an eye on Recton and Rowley based on where they finished. Main eyes on Davis and Zitko on where they finish. Basically, drivers need to finish in front of each other. We are starting to go. Get your tires nice and toasty. Get your brakes nice and green because you're going to need them. This is not going to be a small feat going down in the cops corner. Arguably, probably one of the tougher corners to go side by side in for the most part. And it's our turn 1. Luckily, there's all that exit.
Yeah, I will say the exit curbs are the trickiest part about the wet. I think a lot of the apex curbs are pretty easily takeable in most cars. The exit curbs are the ones that'll get you, either just by losing traction on exit, killing your speed, or by just outright sucking you into the grass and then ending your race.
And if you do gas it up on an exit curb pretty hard, you're probably going to go spinning. As we do have an hour of racing under our belt here in the dark, much less. It's also a very cold day out on track, 18 degrees Celsius, both in the air and on track. So, not ideal conditions for racing, to say the least.
Yeah. At least tire wear won't be an issue with these wet tires. These wet tires are extremely durable. Mm-hmm. But I wonder. I don't think we'll get to the point where we get to a changeover. But the weather is randomly generated from this point on. We know it's wet. From now on, we'll see what happens.
Doesn't look like any increase or decrease just yet. Within the next 30 minutes, of course. I know it's kind of hard to see on screen right now, but yes, it is currently raining. It's not like it's stopped raining. The track is just absorbing and producing water randomly. It's raining. As you can see from the mist kicking up from the driver's tires. Speaking of that mist, how difficult is it to drive in if you're like the 10th person on grid, 5 rows
it's ridiculous.
Back?
It's ridiculous. I'm not super confident that we're gonna make it through lap 1 without an incident.
Well, hopefully we do. From my hearings, our practice races were decent. Not a ton of incidents. There was a few sprinkled here and there, self-inflicted, and of course, driver mistakes that led into bigger incidents. But
I don't think our practice race was this wet though.
Yeah, exactly. So,
this is a lot of spray.
Wet conditions always vary. I believe it is medium rain right now. I don't think it's going to be changing for a while.
As we give a quick body cam in the picture show the kind of spray drivers are dealing with.
Multiply that by 10 in front of you.
Yeah, the race start's going to be fun.
Should be ending up going side by side here shortly. We are doing that. Warming up.
Track is so long.
It is a very long track, hence why we have 2-minute and lap times. And they're only going to be longer here for the race. Drivers are lining up too wide. The absolute glorious sight from the helicopter cam.
I'm on board with Davis in the midfield. We'll see how he starts for the championship implications.
We'll keep our eyes on Zico in the front. He is currently on the outside. You can see in the Aston Martin on the front row. We will have everything to play for as we are running up to the line, getting ready to go green. Everyone anxious to get going on board Cockcroft here. And we will be not green flagged. Hold. Hold, everyone. Hold. Hold. And we are green, coming down to turn 1. Everyone getting a good launch. Marvin and Zico both matching each other. Zico going to try to go around the outside. He is sticking it. Marvin still holding the inside. All clean up in front currently. Still too wide. Going into Maggots and Beckett's. Zico will be able to get out. Marvin's going to let him through. Marvin's actually going to take a compromise line and give up to Santos. And Cockcroft is going to get tagged from another driver. We have no idea. Platt was able to tag Cockcroft going into Maggots and Beckett's. Upsetting sequence of events as Zico gets out to a great lead. Santos gifted P2. Marvin had an abysmal start, and Gold and Gold and Walkowitz side by side coming down here to turn 5.
Davis managed to avoid any crazy contact. Now kind of just working his way through the field, passing cars, making mistakes. Nothing too noteworthy. Just keeping his nose clean, trying to survive the hour.
Walkowitz going to get passed by Gold. Walkowitz actually going to go deep here. Might give up the spot to Platt. And there's actually collision in the back. Walkowitz is going to get rear-ended. Big pile up. Ton of cars in it. Everyone having to go around, trying to stay on track. There is cars, massive damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 cars minimum in that collision.
Too much entry speed for the car slowing down that wasn't as confident.
Yep.
That's gonna be a review.
That will be under review as Fair gets all out of sorts. Would be able to maintain P10 for the time being, but Boonstra on the rear end wants to make an overtake.
I will say Davis now in P6 has had the start of dreams considering where he started from for the championship.
I mean, let's be fair, the entire front half of the field kind of...
I mean, yeah, but good for
away.
him.
Good for him, absolutely.
Now he has to make up a 8 or so second gap over the course of a race, which is much more realistic, I think, than like
Rodriguez is off.
30-second gap. Ooh, Mercedes in the wall.
That's damage.
Or Aston in the wall.
That's damage. We'll get a replay on that one going through here. Just
exit curb. Yep.
Luckily, not tagging anyone else, but that is going to be damage. Oh, he's
Cockcroft yellow again.
Actually stopped on the side of the track.
The nature of the Aston being a front engine car, when you try to put power down, the weight transfer moves the traction
as
away.
Santos had a bad exit. Marvin going to try to go up the outside. Maggots and Beckett's not going to be able to do so. So Santos will take that position, claim it as his own still.
Cockcroft had some snap oversteer. A little bit of contact, nothing crazy. Went off track, rejoined, lost some positions.
Cockcroft definitely has damage on his side or rear after getting absolutely tagged in Maggots and Beckett's lap 1. So keep an eye on him. That Porsche generally becomes unstable when it gets some damage on it. So keep an eye. Friday.
Couple cars straight into the pits with the extended pit window, which we forgot to mention.
Yep, 55-minute pit window. Probably every car that was in that pileup is going in there right now. Is Kyle Miller going to be able to overtake Greer on the front stretch? Just a clean overtake. We'll be able to get by him. We'll hold that position. And Robichard trying to collect any scraps here. We do see a side-by-side in the background. Funk on Lorenzo. Funk trying to get the move done. Not going to be able to do it. We'll have to hold here on the outside. Not going to try for the overtake at all. And he will actually come down on the inside. Not going to be able to stick it. Lorenzo giving him enough space to make it work. But Lorenzo will be able to keep that position for himself as the Jags are not having a good day right now.
I mean, are the Jags ever having a good day?
Mount Pana.
I feel like the drivers were having a good day. I feel like the machinery was struggling.
That machinery is always struggling, let's be honest. We are on board with Fair, who is defending decently hard against Boonstra. Boonstra making it difficult, and Fair's trying to overtake Poppin at the same time. But we have a battle for P1 right now. Zitko, Santos, and Marvin all within a second of each other right now.
If you're Zitko, what do you think your strategy is here? Do you
We played safe.
are you at all concerned about fights, or are you just kind of like keep my car alive, know where Davis is, keep him behind me?
Until Davis shows up in your rearview mirror, you're not too concerned with fights. Of course, you hold that P1 position, you know you've won the entire thing.
That's fair. That's a good strategy. Win the race, win the championship. Don't think too much.
I believe that is the situation. I'm not sure if drop races kind of took effect on the website.
I would be concerned though,
they
because
were like-
Davis's fastest lap is currently 1.3 seconds faster than Zitko's fastest lap.
Is coming
Davis
in
is
hot.
moving.
Justin
This is
Ketchener is trying for a move on Cubemaster around the outside. Not going to be able to get done. We'll let Cubemaster go. We'll just slide right back in. I see Sharon having a yellow flag off in Maggots and Beckett somewhere.
Yep, replaying the picture-in-picture. I think he just caught some curb and, you know, L plan. Ferrari pit wall things.
That Mercedes looks extremely stable right now compared to every other car.
It also looks like it has a wheelbase 5 feet longer than anything else.
Ooh, its brakes is also being better than the Porsche right now. Justin, obviously a little faster than Cubemaster right now, just not good enough on the exits. Ooh, gonna go a little wide there. We'll hold it.
Porsche traction coming out.
Porsche traction.
As Poffin's trying to make a move on Sky, can't do it because the Ferrari can't outbrake the Porsche. But, you know, moving away from horses and Porsches.
Versus
Zitko is within, or had been pulled within 3/10, but got a much better exit on his last corner.
was 2/10. It's that McLaren engine, not a very strong engine, but having a messy corner for that one, it might open the door for Santos here, but we'll get a better run out of the corner. Santos trying to get that slipstream action. He's actually increasing pretty rapidly here. 3/10, 2/10, coming down the cops. Will he take it too wide? Doesn't look like it. We'll just stick behind. Actually, we'll let off early, and we'll stay behind Zitko for the time being.
The McLaren got hit with the BOP in the last patch for the, or maybe the patch before for upper RPM engine power. A lot of people felt like it was a little unnecessary. It's not a particularly fast car to get a hit to the engine power. It's very satisfying to rev out.
Extremely fast in the corners though, due to that aerodynamics. Maybe it's a trade-off.
Yeah, if you hit anything, your whole race is ruined.
That is true.
The former McLaren driver, if you bump anything, that's it. As the Porsche makes the move on the Aston, it looks like, or the other way around. Sorry, the Aston makes the move on the Porsche.
Got it. And that battle that you're looking at is looking to merge with the battle I'm about to look at here. Boonstra almost making their way to Potvin. Not going to be able to do so. Potvin down in your picture-in-picture window is about to go side by side with Zach Sky currently. Doesn't look like anything will come from it. In fact, it will actually just let Boonstra into the fight here. Boonstra's getting all kind of squirrely on exits.
McKechnie's just behind Cubemaster, behind the group you're looking at, within 1/10 through that corner.
We're all kind of stacked up here, but we do have some spread if you take a look at the track map there. Everyone kind of grouped up in one sector right now.
I mean, you know, that'll happen when you have a huge lap 1 incident.
It is also extremely hard to follow this here as we have a change in leadership position. Zitko is going to get overtaken by Santos. Actually ends up running wide there on the corner. Almost let himself vulnerable for Marvin, but will block off any kind of overtaking potential there. Zitko going to have to battle back for P1 because Davis is currently in P5 and on the charge.
Luckily for Zitko, I think there are a couple of fast drivers in between the two of them, in Marvin and Volkovitz, who should be able to put up a fight.
Unless they pit right away.
Well, you know.
Normally the strat with this front pack is to kind of pit as late as possible. But you know, we've seen different things, so that happens.
As this little foursome fight here of Sky, Poff, and Boonstra and Rally is really like the fight on track currently.
Yeah, it's a 5-person fight currently right now. So spicy things might come from it. Rodriguez might get the best of Gold here. Gold doesn't look to have the best of exits. Down to Maggots and Beckett's. Rodriguez will pull out of that move. Gold will keep going. QMaster are going to go into the pits. We'll release McKetchner and see what that Mercedes can do.
Surf the water, surf the waves. It's basically a surfboard, so.
Now Kyle Miller looking for a move down the Maggots and Beckett's on Cockcroft. Cockcroft got a little bit of PTSD there from lap 1. Luckily, Miller not going into the side of Cockcroft.
I will say after a little over 10 minutes, this is as close as P1 has been to P2. I feel like in a couple races, it's only a 1-second gap.
Yeah, it's been relatively gappy.
David Funk needs to be upgraded. Send Funk to D2.
Don't pay attention to the fact that he's down in P28 right now.
I said what I said.
Rodriguez closing the gap to Gold again. Very late on the brakes is Rodriguez. We'll have to actually back out. And Gold is going to be able to retain that position. Fair is going to look to join the fight along with Sky, along with Potvin. If we can get close enough here.
That's behind them, Rose and Sharon fighting back and forth, just swapping positions through corners.
Always the best. That's always the fun battles.
All we can see are headlights.
Rodriguez not able to hold that gap good enough to get that overtake. And your Aston Martin claim is slowly becoming not good.
I mean, it's only there are only 5 of them in the top 10, right?
Yeah. As Gold not getting a very strong entry or exit out of this corner, Rodriguez might have the run here down the cops if he can get that slipstream and keep it and just increase that gap. Doesn't look to have enough speed in the tank for it. We'll stick another lap behind Gold. Fair is now joining the fight. Gold's actually getting a very bad exit out of cops, but Rodriguez is going to compromise his as well, trying to avoid them. They're going through Maggots and Beckett's now and hold their own. Rodriguez seems to be a little bit on edge right now. Gold really calm and composed, trying to keep together through these corners. Rodriguez just not able to get the traction down in order to overtake Gold.
As Selena in P11 has been putting pressure on Potvin in front of her. There's about a second gap there, but he's definitely been forced off track twice, and this lap is completely invalid.
Zach, Sky, Potvin, and Boonstra and Rally are very close to joining this battle here. If Gold keeps up Rodriguez anymore.
We see Greer was stopped on track for some reason. Looks like he spun it into the wall on the exit of the corner leading to the old start-finish straight.
As the F1.
F1 pit straight as well.
I think.
F's in the chat for the boy on the pit straight.
It is a pit straight, but they're in the wall. Gold close to Rodriguez as ever. Might try on the outside here. Actually going to lose grip on the outside. It's very wet out there. Gold will keep that position. Rodriguez has just opened the door to Fair. They're overtaking the background. Not going to be able to do it in this turn, but Fair is closing that gap ever slightly. This turning out to be a spicy race just for P6. Davis.
I thought this was when the best races happen.
Davis.
For that like 6 to 13 range.
Davis currently on the hunt for Zitko, who has fallen off from Santos. Gold is just making the train. Rodriguez making another mistake, coming out, closing the door on Fair. Fair is all over the back of Rodriguez now. See who can have the better exit out of this. Fair not looking to get the best here. Rodriguez hammered down, but it doesn't look like Fair is going to have enough power to get that overtake done.
So we have a new purple lap time from Santos with a 2:12.4. So,
Nuts.
I will say there are no Astons in the 212s, so my point stands.
Okay, but
The only other car in the 212s is a Honda.
Rodriguez has fallen away from Gold here. Going to the Maggots and Beckett's now gaining all that time back. Zach's guy over the back of Fair. Zach's guy is actually going to have a yellow flag for a second. Is able to recover the car relatively quickly. Now Davis is coming up on Walkowitz. Around the outside, not going to do it. Might try for a switchback here. Walkowitz going to be able to hold that inside. We'll keep this position for the time being, but that Porsche engine not able to defend against this Aston Martin engine right now. Aston Martin very late on the brakes there. Not going to be able to get the move done. Walkowitz able to hold that position for the time being. Davis trying to come in for the switchback again. Not going to be able to do it either way. Who can hold the grip here? Walkowitz does have the traction, and we'll keep the position.
Yeah, the Porsche is going to be really hard to pass just because of the traction on exit. It could be so frustrating to just watch it like scrabble away.
It's a very sketchy car to drive, though.
Oh yeah. Not looking forward to my race tomorrow.
Yeah, you definitely. That car will definitely lose it mid-corner. Don't even know what happened. Davis is basically pushing Walkowitz through his lap right now.
I think I've accepted tomorrow either I'm going to crash or my race is going to, or my like game's going to crash. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of committed to these outcomes.
My computer will melt or I will melt. Take your picks. Walkowitz holding a good line there. Davis probably very frustrated right now, trying to get around them.
Same as Funk, who's been within 1/10 of Friday forever and gets spun. Oh, that's a bad time for me to join, but let's get the replay. And just looks like he tags the rear quarter panel of the car in front, trying to make the move. Yep, up the inside, and yep.
Wait on the brakes. Coming down in the cops. Davis poking his nose to the inside. Not going to be able to do anything from it. Walkowitz should have the favorite line here going into Maggots Beckett's. Davis actually going to poke his nose on the inside, trying for something. There is contact between the cars. Davis is going to hold the position, and Walkowitz is going to stay behind. I don't know if that's a clean overtake.
No comments. We'll see if we get a ticket for that later.
He will give the position back to Walkowitz.
Never mind. It's good racing. I don't know if I'd be doing that if I was in the championship hunt, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I might just make the move and let the stewards figure it out.
Unless we don't know. I mean, we're just reading from stats that come up on our overlay, so we could be completely wrong. Drop races might not have been put into effect.
Oh, that's a good point. More drama. It's actually not a point, it's half a point.
Half a point. We had something like this last season where there was a fight for P1 in the championship, and we basically was like, oh, it's done, it's over, there's nothing really happening here. But when all was said and done, the championship was literally decided by 1 point because our overlays didn't factor in the drop race.
Oof.
So I might try to go get that information here as Davis is going really deep into that corner, losing all the time he gained. The Walkowitz will have to gain it all back. Not going to be too hard in that Aston Martin versus the Porsche, but it's the fact that matters.
We'll say now Davis is nearly 15 seconds off Zico, so all this fighting is not doing him well in the catch-up race.
No. It is not. I mean, having that little collision is very huge as well. Having to give that position back.
Yeah, that definitely cost him at least 3-4 seconds minimum.
Let me go to just to confirm. So I have confirmed that Corey Davis currently is ahead by 1 point to Zico, 516 to 515. This is what I'm told includes the drop race.
Okay, so I've had it, boys.
I've had it.
Because we have a couple overtakes on track. Sky getting ahead of Gold and Keshney getting ahead of Rally in your picture-in-picture has a bit of a moment. Looks to have caught it.
Guy,
quick escape road.
Guy currently approaching the back of Gold right now. Boonstra behind them to pick up any kind of scraps. That Porsche engine probably not going to do too well against that Aston Martin engine on the straights.
Speaking of Porsche engines, what came out this week in automotive news, they had a planned flat 8 engine that would go in a Cayman.
Zach's guy going wide, but that's insane. Boonstra trying to pick up the scraps here. Gold's going to be able to run away. Boonstra not going to be able to do anything here. We might actually see some Porsche on Porsche action. Although, I just want to give props to Boonstra real quick. She's on a controller. Right
Yeah, it's wild. That's so wild to me.
In the wet, in a Porsche. Yeah.
And like, in my head, I was like, I wonder if this is easier. So I tried it. No, it's not.
Get this girl a wheel.
League sponsors, hello.
Yeah, pull the money, SRA pool, get that girl a wheel. Get it all together. Davis is once again approaching Walkowitz. Gaps have started to form and stretched out a little bit. There's a few battles everywhere. Davis is looking down on the inside. Very late dive. Walkowitz is going to give him the space there. He definitely wasn't entitled to all of that space, but Davis has sent it, and Walkowitz will hold behind him. Davis needs a good exit here, getting out onto Old Pitch Stretch. Does look to have it, and Walkowitz will lose that position. Davis has been released.
And immediately pulls a half a second gap, streaking off into the distance.
Yep, Davis will be gone now.
Now he has a 10.5 second gap to Marvin, and then a further 3 seconds to Zitko in the next 40 minutes.
Kyle Miller's going to look on the inside of Dockendorf here. Dockendorf getting a little wide on the exit here. That's an Audi engine. That Lexus engine not going to be able to have power here, but getting into the draft might be able to stick their nose out here down the cops. Kyle Miller looking to do anything here. Might just stick behind him. Will actually break early. Going to turn in a little early just in case as well. Dockendorf will hold that position for the time being.
More cylinders equals more speed.
Exactly. Cockcroft was actually a part of that battle. Peeled off into the pits to avoid it. Kyle Miller looking to be very speedy in Maggots and Beckett's, actually looking to mess up that kind of second turn in there, but it still is able to stick onto the back Dockendorf for the most part.
Sharon is right up the rear end of Robichaud. Within a tenth, 2/10 through all these corners, that Ferrari really trying to get past his Aston, just like they're trying in F1. Hopefully he has a better result.
Kyle Miller flashing Dockendorf. Playing the mind games here.
Love it. Some initial D tactics.
He's either doing that for stream or he's doing that to distract him. And if he's doing it for stream, you're distracting yourself because you are falling a second behind already. So get up in there.
As we jump back to Boonstra and Sky in the picture-in-picture within 2/10 of each other and only 3 or 4 tenths behind Gold right in front.
No, we don't have a lot of battles on track, but the battles that we are having are extremely good, decent, clean, and when there is a mistake, positions are given back. Kyle Miller is going to make a big mistake in that turn, going very deep. Going to lose all that time to Dockendorf, and Dockendorf can wipe the sweat off his brow. Sharon's going side by side with Robichaud here. Turn on the outside, not going to be able to hold it. That is an extremely wet line out there. Robichaud will have that position. Might open the door here for Rose to come in. That Ferrari. Not able to hold that outside
Ferrari's
line.
Good. Yeah, it shows how much I know about the cars around these tracks.
Every car that you said was good, you have been wrong about so far, except for the McLaren.
I'm an inverse ETF.
Who's that Sky having a yellow? Not sure what happened there.
Got passed by Booster though, as we saw it in the picture-in-picture.
Oh, Miller late deep again, this time at Cops.
Update on our race leader, Santos is 3 seconds clear of P2 Zitko and has set a purple lap time of a 2:12.0.
Wow.
And his last lap was a 2:12.1.
Absolutely blistering pace. I mean, I don't think Santos is really in contention here for the championship, but a win on the final race would be pretty good.
A win's a win. I have a one
Win's a
SRA
win.
win, and I'm still talking about it. This is the beginning of last season.
Actually, I'm looking at these standings again.
He's like, hold on, we're checking, we're checking.
Santos is currently in P4 with 424 points.
Did he get to P3?
Yes. P3
Huh.
Pat Cockcroft, 456 points, who isn't having the greatest of races to say the least, but he is P23, and I believe that's a net 5 right now of the people that have pitted already. So he's having a decent race. If all chips fall correctly, Santos wins this. Davis, Zitko come together and just don't really get any points. Santos can win the entire thing.
They come together and don't get any points.
This is some Drive to Survive stuff. SRA Drive to Survive, make it happen.
This is what Lewis Hamilton thinks in the car when he sees the Red Bulls ahead of him. If they could just crash each other out, I can become the undisputed GOAT.
If they just touch.
We see big yellow flags on the track for Lorenzo, who's having issues getting the car straight. Yep, just lost it on the exit curb and just
Damage?
a tiny bit. He got off lucky. As Robichaud seems to have a huge issue because he's losing positions rapidly.
Yeah, he is. Not good for
What
his
happened
championship fight.
He was leading a bit of a train and just, let's see. On exit, went a little wide, caught the curb, and yep, looped it.
Oh, and there's another car spun around.
Yep.
Lorenzo spun around again right in front of some of the leaders. White Scarver's now yellow flagged as well. Happened to him.
It's hard to focus for an hour of, intensive racing in the wet and night.
We're not even a half an hour in.
Yeah, Potvin had an issue. Ferrari's biting the dust left and right.
Ooh. What a save by White Scarver.
Yeah, Potvin not as lucky. He did not save it. He kept it out of the wall, but
That's good.
beyond that, no saving happening.
As this battle between Boonstra, Sky, Rally, and McKeshner is starting to heat up a little bit.
That
Gaps are
thing's been
closing.
on simmer this whole time.
Gaps are closing, and by gap, I mean McKechnie is 0.2 seconds behind Justin Rally right now at Mercedes, looking pretty stable compared to every other car.
I'm telling you, surfboard in the wet conditions is great. As Davis has not been able to close the gap to Marvin, actually losing time. He was 10 seconds behind. He's now 12.
I've just cast a curse McKechnie as he has clipped a sausage curb.
Oof, less than ideal.
So he'll have to build his gap back a little bit. Back Sky approaching Boonstra, or at least attempting to. There is a car off there, trying to get out of the way as clean as possible. Good job.
Rodriguez 1/10 behind Unda. 0/10 behind. Is he gonna make the move stick? No, he's gonna back out of it. Give back some space.
Back Sky closing the gap to Boonstra here, coming on the cops. Is faster. Actually gonna have to apply more brake than Boonstra. Is gonna try for the better exit. Not gonna be able to do it, so we're gonna go in line through Maggots and Beckett's here. I do see some blue flag troubles ahead.
Blue flags, blue flags. The blue flag song is one of my favorite videos on YouTube, by the way.
Interesting. Boonstra actually going to be really slow there through one of the final turns of Maggots and Beckett's. Might actually open the door here for Zach Sky. He is extremely fast coming out there. Got a better exit. Getting the slipstream off of Boonstra right now. Trying to come down, closing the gap. Is getting. Going to stick their nose out down on the inside. Boonstra's going to have to hold the outside. Boonstra will be holding the outside. There is contact between Sky and Boonstra. Sky will continue on. Boonstra will just have to take it on the chin. And Sky will take that position.
I know if I was in Selena's shoes, I would not be happy with that move. That seemed, that was aggressive.
Robin's racing. I mean,
Robin is not racing. God, no. Don't give them more ideas.
A NASCAR race? Let's be
honest.
Yes. Especially at
But
Coda.
I'm tired of quotes from racing drivers. If there's a gap, you must take the gap has been the death of me. I will say, part of the reason Davis is not catching Marvin is because he's setting purple laps. 2:11.6.
Wow.
On his last lap and showing no signs of slowing down.
Doesn't seem like he's catching Zitko overall either, although Zitko is saying down a couple burners about 1.5 seconds faster than Davis right now. Santos set a green lap for himself. 2:11.9.
So fast. has to not be purple.
That's got to be demoralizing a little bit. You're like, damn, I just set a personal best. It's not purple?
Yeah.
Boonstra has lost the gap to Zach Sky, and Zach Sky's going to have to put on some gap if he wants to make sure that he has that position, just in case penalty made to come out. But Rally now looking to overtake Boonstra here in the McLaren.
As Ferry gets just past Rose, we missed the picture. Let's see if we can get a replay of the move. It looks like he just passed him down the straight. Nothing too crazy. Yep, just sends it up the inside. And pieces out.
See you. These are always the cleanest moves to make, but they really are the hardest and require a ton of trust from every other driver around you.
That's what we foster here, that's right.
We try. Dockendorf will be into the pits at the exact halfway marker of this race.
His OCD is feeling real satisfied right now.
That means there's 27.5 minutes left to get your pit stop in. Currently, the top 12 have yet to pit. Dockendorf with a stop-go 30.
Oh, that's tough.
Not
speeding in the pit lane, probably?
most likely.
That's tough.
Justin Rowley closing the gap. Boonstra not having a good sequence of corners right there. Justin Rowley trying to make the best of it. Not going to be able to do anything about it. Boonstra's all wiggly through these corners, but still holding that gap. And this is what she can do on controller. I'm scared on what she can do with an actual wheel. Because there's a car. Zach Sky is spun around. They're giving that position straight back to Boonstra, essentially. But Zach Sky going to try to join the train. Not going to be able to do so, and so this train will just keep going for the time being. So we're at
all the gaps on track kind of leveling out.
Yep. I was about to say, we're kind of at the halfway marker. Everyone's kind of settled down for the most part. Gonna catch their like 15 minutes of breath before they spend the last 15 minutes absolutely battling again. Now's the time to start thinking about pit stops if you're kind of more of the mid-pack area right now. But ideally you want to go all the way to the end, so you can. But there is a decent gap if you pit right between you and the leader. Also, if you're Dockendorf, do you serve that stop-go 30 now, or you try to hold it off for like 2 to 3 laps? What
I would just try to get rid of it, I think. Just serve it and...
He has 8 seconds of free air in front of him.
Is the gap that big?
Yes.
That does change the math, I think, a little bit.
So,
if you think you have the pace to like suck up that gap and close up the car behind, I would take advantage.
Well,
but
I have news for you. He will not be taking advantage. He'll be into the pits right now.
Well, sounds good. Well, he also only has 3 laps to serve, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Only 3 laps. That's okay. We'll watch some of these other battles still going on, with the battle between Boonstra, Rowley, and McKetch still happening.
And just behind them, Sharon and Fair still fighting. The Ferrari and the Aston.
Riggs might start catching some flack from that as well. As your top 15 has still yet to pit, Fair currently leading the non-pitters right now. As we are hitting some blue flag traffic in our battle here. Justin looking to pull a move on Rowley, because Rowley got a little deep because of that blue flag. Is all over the back of that McLaren. Both of these engines, not the strongest, but that Mercedes is better. But Rowley getting an extremely better exit than Justin. By extremely, I mean a second better exit.
Wolf.
Kind of nuts to think about it. Zach Sky has another yellow. You have
yellow flags, yellow flags.
Mercedes engine in that big boat of a car. Sure, it's more powerful than the McLaren one that you have in there. And you lost a second out on the straight. Rally not actually going to be able to hold the apex for that one. Still going to be able to keep it within Boonstra's gap, but that opens the door a little bit for Justin to come here through Maggots and Beckett's. So far, so good for Zitko right now, leading P2 right now, and will be leading the championship overall. Sitting pretty, but one eye certainly is on the road, and one eye is certainly on where the hell Davis is.
Like a shark in the water. You don't know where he is. You're pretty sure at this point it can't bite you, but you don't know.
Exactly. Because I was trying to look up silver standing, but can't see. If I'm not mistaken, Robichard or Rodriguez was leading everything for silver, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
For silver standing driver, it was Recton. It was Recton.
Ooh.
Currently in P15 in the championship overall.
Yeah.
Is about that.
And Rodriguez is currently leading. However, I don't think there's small enough gap to really challenge anything there. Recton might have ran away with this one. We'll keep you updated on that when we can get more information. Rally closing the gap on Boonstra ever so quickly. Boonstra is actually closing the gap on gold now as well. Battles seem to have fizzled out for the time being. Santos still leading by about 6 seconds right now from Zitko. Davis currently P4 about 20 seconds. Yeah, I'd say 20 seconds away from Zitko. Picture-in-picture window, you can see Sharon pitting. Madison will get a drive-through penalty.
We've had a couple of those drive-throughs today.
Have we? I think Madison's our one. Who was?
Oh, second penalty. Sorry, not drive-through.
There you go.
We had to stop go 30 earlier. I forgot.
Yes.
Got to drive-through is a separate thing. Drive-through's track limits.
Correct. As we didn't. I don't think we had any pre-notation penalties to serve.
But not that I'm aware of.
Race. Sharon. will come out with a stop-go 30. Beating the pit lane.
Well, you know, I predicted the future. I was incorrect about the multiple stop goes, but we've now got another stop go.
Correct, and now Boonstra is all over the back of gold. Rowley's trying to look for a way past Boonstra, trying to take advantage of the fight she's about to get into. Boonstra trying to get all the way past gold so he doesn't have to worry about Rowley anymore. This is spelling disaster for this fight. Could turn out a little spicy. Is not going to get the best of exits here. It might spell disaster. Rally trying their best to get up and close and personal. Not going to be able to do so. We'll actually end up going just a wee bit wide here, and we'll try to bring it back in. It is successfully doing that. Boonstra not having the best sequence of corners there compared to Gold. Trying to get a better exit. Not able to do so. The Gold is going to be running away with this one. Rally trying to get all that slipstream off of Boonstra. Not going to be able to do so. So I will believe we will just stay in line here through Cops and Maggots and Beckett's. Unless someone has an abysmal Cops. Rally, being abysmal Cops, not going to be able to hit the apex, so it will be in line through Maggots and Beckett's.
Donahue makes the pass on Friday behind P22, P23. White Scarver, yellow flags, dropping from the order. Let's see what happened to him.
Ooh.
That's not the track.
This guy is also yellow flag.
Get a quick rewind of what happened to White Scarver. It looks like he just clipped the inside curb, and yep. Trying to catch it, couldn't catch it, avoided contact, but yep, that'll happen.
Good he didn't take anyone else out, but that's rough. Curbs are deadly. And Rally is about to be deadly as Boonstra. Boonstra's actually getting a ton of understeer in that corner. But is still able to put the gap on the Rally. Insane. Al Miller is now closing the back gap to McKechnie. Ghost Rider on Ghost Rider action.
Track right now. Ugh, Ghost Rider racing.
Only the best conglomerate in SRA.
I have no way to disagree with that. There's probably some factual reasons to disagree, but I don't have them on hand.
Statistically, maybe not. Look, all right, but good times and vibes, yeah. Isn't that what you're really here for?
Pretty much.
Justin Rowley's actually looking along the outside of Boonstra, not going to be able to hold it, and is actually going to lose out on this stretch. It's Kyle Miller trying to get all that slipstream from Justin here. Not going to be able to
having a yellow flag moment, sliding down the order. That's not the direction of the track.
Oh, Marvin's yellow.
And yep, replay just shows he just caught a little too much exit curve, a little too much power. The Audi, there's no Quattro in GT3. They don't get all-wheel drive, so no traction for him.
Is Marvin yellowed while you were watching that? We'll take a look at this. Seems self-inflicted. Ooh, there is a blue flag backwards.
That would have been what I was just looking at with Dockendorf.
Maggots and Beckett's looks too hard to the first section. Instead of going off to the escaper, tries to keep it on. We'll spin out. We'll give the position to Davis, and Davis is now around 15 seconds. Or 20 seconds.
Do we know off the top of our head what the point differential for P2 and P3 is?
I believe it's more than 1 point.
Okay, I was about to say, because
checking.
if Davis can get a fastest lap.
We are checking. Watch the battle between Kyle and Justin. So the point gap between second and third is 100 to 92. So it's an 8-point gap. We don't really have to worry about 1 point gap incrementals until it gets down to P7. Oh. Checking. Until we get down to P34 is when we start getting 1 point incrementals.
Okay. There's 32 drivers in the race, so not an option today.
Correct. So, I mean, unless one of them DNFs, then, or they both DNF. See what happened. Rally is as close as ever on the back of Boonstra.
Recton in P32 has had a howler of a race.
He's not having the greatest of time. One really able to send it here, and two battles are now clashing. So now we have a 5-person battle as between Gold, Boonstra, Rally, McKechnie, and Kyle Miller kind of clashing together now. This could get a little spicy.
We are here for the spice, as Platt makes a move on Rose and does get the pass done.
As Justin's going to go wide at Cops, is going to allow Kyle Miller to come up on the inside. We'll take that position, and Miller will take that overtake every single day from Justin. Now Justin's going to try to be on the climb back, going to be flashing at Kyle a little bit, actually messing up their line in Maggots and Beckett's tiny bit. And now Kyle is on the charge to get up the rally. And exit out Maggots and Beckett's like that is not going to do it. Rally just being pulled along by Boonstra. Boonstra having a big mess up moment in that corner. Will allow Rally to come back here on the inside. Rally's going to try to get back into the slipstream. Might look down on the inside. Pokes their nose out here. Not going too hard into it. Will stay behind Boonstra for now. But that was the moment to take if you wanted it. Boonstra's getting all kind of wiggly.
We see a couple yellow flags on track. We'll rewind in the picture, see what happened between Rodriguez, Sharon, and Unda. Well,
Unlucky.
that's unfortunate. I got nothing else. I got nothing else for that.
Unlucky.
As you just, well, Rodriguez having another issue, but you just hope that cars don't rejoin the track perpendicular in the future.
Correct. As we are having a battle here coming down in the last 15 minutes. Oh, Boonstra, Rally, Miller. Rally's going to go up the inside of Boonstra here finally. Side by side we go. Rally is going to be able to take this position. Might get a little bit deep. Boonstra's going to try to switch back. Rally's extremely deep. Rally has just exposed himself to Kyle. Kyle's going to be on the outside here in the penultimate corner. They touch a little bit, but everyone's still good. Kyle Miller's going to try to get the better exit here. Does have the engine power to outpower that McLaren right now. Does look like he has the gap cleared. Is given the space and will shut the door right now.
So much rear end traction in that Porsche.
Boonstra able to just hold it.
Sorry, Lexus.
I was about to say,
Oops.
if Rally didn't go deep in that first corner there, and he wouldn't have lost 2 positions. Unfortunately, Rally not able to complete the overtake with Boonstra. As Kyle Miller's flashing Boonstra now. That where he was pumping his brakes a little too much. Take your picks. It's 5-car train has formed. Gap to Zitko and Davis, 21 seconds right now. Davis needs to pull something out here in the next 14 minutes if he wants to see that championship. And of course, do that shoey. SRA official shoey.
For those that aren't aware, we do a reveal stream for the upcoming season, where all the previous race winners and champions got to do their shoeys, and that is one of the highlights of being part of SRA, is that particular stream.
Correct. It is an absolute great time, and you can join us next season by going to simracingalliance.com, joining the Discord, chatting us up.
One of us.
It's a fun time. As Rally's going to miss his braking point, almost going into the back of Miller. Is actually going to end up losing out here, probably the Justins, to going side by side here. Rally's going to have the inside here. McKechnie's not going to be able to hold it too well. He's actually in a little squirrely. Going to try to go for the switchback maneuver. He does have a lot more engine power, and that green tarmac is not very grippy there.
There's no traction out there, bro.
Nope, as Kyle Miller's actually gone past Boonstra now. That might have just been an engine diff. As we have side by side, Justin's going to go side by side with Rally. Justin, contact made, is going to give that position back to Rally, and Rally will take that every day. Fortunately, there is now a 2-second gap between those cars.
Yeah, it all popped off for a minute there through like one sector.
Usually what happens, Justin needs to avoid those green curbs. It is absolutely messing up his traction here. Rally's actually going to get some understeer out in Cops. Not going to be able to hold it. It is going to go straight to the outside. Justin's going to start poking their nose up on the inside. We'll back out here. Back to the racing line and let Rally go through. Justin actually going to have a moment as well there.
I will say, if you look at your screen right now, you can see of the top 15 or 17 or so drivers, only 2 or 3 have pit. So we're going to have a whole bunch of people dive into the pits pretty soon.
Yep, we have just under 10 minutes left of pit time. Blue flags are coming into play. Kyle Miller is trying their best to get by gold. Is that flashing, or is that just lights starting to flicker a little bit?
You know, they're diverting energy from the lights to the engine for more horsepower.
Yeah. Oh, Miller almost taking that sausage curb. That is not one of those sausage curbs you want to take. This Lexus is looking pretty strong here in the wet right now. Might
Which is
actually,
interesting because I've always felt it was an oversteer car. As
yeah,
he makes
he's
the
trying
move,
for a dive on the outside here. Not going to be able to stick it. That is a very wet line on the outside, but is able to retain the gap for the most part. Then a nice look. Might not have been able to get that job done unless he would have went extreme inside.
maybe if the track magically turned dry for him,
Hit a poop.
he might have had to move on the outside.
Looks like Gold not getting the best of that corner. Miller's hard on the brakes there. All over the back of Gold right now. Gold's being as wide as possible in that AMR. Now's the time when we start looking for pits. If you're in a battle, maybe you try to go. Kyle Miller's flashing Gold mind games right now. There he's just saying hi to stream. Looked up the inside of cops for a second. Is brave. But won't be able to get that move done. We'll say. This Lexus honestly looks decent right now. At least compared to what Gold is doing. Gold is being an absolute wideman right now. Not able to let Kyle Miller pass.
We have some cars down in the pits. Inefficient Rose in the pits. Let's see who else is having an interesting moment on track. Rally and Boons are directly behind Golden Miller.
Miller's actually looking up on the inside. Not going to be able to be late enough on the brakes, but that will send Gold pretty deep. Miller all over Gold right now, trying for a switchback. Not going to be able to do it. Miller's going to take all of that track. Gold's going to be a little bit more shallow. Might compromise the exit here. Actually gets on that green tarmac. Is going to release his grip. Miller's going to take the inside. Has the favorable line here. Is going to be able to hold that dry line on the inside and will complete that overtake. And this might actually open the door for Boonstra and Rally behind. Now we're going to go defensive here on Gold. Rightly so. That was a hard one to get past. Gold now over the back of Miller. Boonstra able to get that draft off of Gold right now, which Rally never wanted.
Is the draft in the wet slower because you're running into the resistance of hitting the spray?
I don't think so. I think it's roughly the same.
You're
Miller's
losing
having
like
a big moment. Miller's really wide there. Is still able to hold the inside here. Might be able to defend against Gold. Holding the favorable line right now is Miller. Gold is going to be able to hold that outside line. Gold's going to back out of this. Miller will overtake or defend successfully against Gold. Rodriguez down in the pits. Our silver leader right now. Going to spell some implications. I believe we saw Justin also pit. We have just over 5 minutes left to successfully pit. Over 7.5 minutes left in the race. It's all going to come down to the wire here. Miller still defending pretty hard against Gold. Boonstra's now all over the back of Gold, trying to get by. Boonstra's having a big moment. Maggots and Beckett's going to compromise their exit here. Not going to be able to make a move down into the next turn. Fair now being able to overtake Rodriguez out of the pits. Is right behind Riggs now.
Rally dives into the pits. McKechnie drives into the pits as well.
The fact that there's two Rodriguez's on track right now.
Yeah, it's
both
really
in the
confusing
same
me
car.
sometimes.
It hurts my brain.
Whatever, we're gonna see if we can implement a rule about that.
They have two different names technically, but we only see last names here for the most part. Boonstra trying to close this gap on Gold. Gold's basically kind of dropped off of Kyle Miller. Boonstra's actually all over the back of Gold right now. Might actually look for a dive here up in the corner. Gold might try to go defensive here. Will decide to hold the inside. Pokes out. Boonstra has to stay behind. Santos now in the pits.
Yep, race leader has taken their pit stop. Will they come out ahead of or behind Davis is the question. It looks like it'll be behind.
Yes. Might need to look at Marvin. or where he comes out at, depending on the strategy here.
Marvin
Marvin's
dives
actually in
into
the
the
pits.
pits.
Walkowitz is going to dive into the pits. Everyone's going to pull the trigger on the pits right now. Miller.
So you have to imagine Zico and Davis coming in the next lap, right?
You basically have one more lap to pit. So you either take it this lap or you're taking it next lap, your choice. If I was Kyle Miller, I'd stay out, take my chances. If I was Gold, I'm going in. Boonsha gonna stay out. So all these little battles that we've had going on are gonna start fizzling out. Santos is gonna actually hold P3 for the time being, as our leaderboard on screen needed to update. Fair making their approach on Riggs. Just over 5 minutes left in the race, and it's already again just a wee bit spicy here. Back, I see a blue flag waving
I'm not
about.
gonna lie, I haven't made a comment in about 30 seconds. 'Cause I'm just watching the racing.
It is an extremely
Completely
good
tuned
race. As it looks,
I thought I was saying things, but it's all going on in my head.
it looks like McKechnie was able to jump Rally in the pits here. Cockcroft is going all over the back of
Up the
Zach
inside.
Sky.
Backs out.
Not going to be able to do anything with it. We'll just go straight line through Maggots and Beckett's. Martin Riggs having not an extremely good corner, but neither is Fair, but Fair able to close the gap just a wee bit. And if there's any time to go for a move, now it's time to go for a move. Zitko in the pits, and we should see Davis dive into the pits here as well. There's no way you make it around another lap at this point, or else you will be getting a 130-second time penalty.
Yep, Zico's dove in the pits. Davis should follow him, and then
Everyone should follow that hasn't pit. So basically, we'll re-promote Santos back to the lead. Davis is moving, though.
Yep, and there we go. Santos back in P1.
Yep.
We have an issue here.
All's right in the world. Rodriguez is going to look for a move on Fair. Not going to happen as someone is off in the grass there. That is Fair. So Fair will lose that position to Rodriguez. We'll flash Rodriguez for the fun of it.
I'm sure there's some anger there. Wonder what happened.
Not sure if there was a little bump there. I didn't see anything. We'll get a little replay on it. Well, I guess we won't get a little replay on it.
We tried.
I didn't see any contact, so unsure of what fully happened there. As Kyle Miller, Boonstra both will dive into a bit. We'll promote Marvin to P4 and Walkowitz up to P5. Riggs has found himself in a nice little spot, but he has to also pit now. Fair. A little angry at Rodriguez. Whatever happened there, we did watch it on our screen. Didn't see any contact, but we're here now.
What? We're here now.
We're here now. Rodriguez is running away with that one. Potvin was a little bit close behind. Boonstra's on the back of Gold now coming out of the pits. Cockcroft is going to be on the back of Zach Sky yet again. Pit window is now closed, which means we have about a lap or two more left in the race, depending on wherever our leader goes. Cockcroft going to get a little bit finicky on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's. Justin on the back of Rally yet again.
Why do I feel like this has been a thing the whole race?
Because it has.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough.
Justin not able to get a good enough exit here. Actually, Donahue's going to be behind both of them, looking to collect some scraps if they can. Justin's going to need to look for a move here at some point. It doesn't look like Rally is looking relatively comfortable for the most part. The leader will cross the line here to commence the final lap. Rally's going to go deep. Justin's going to look to do something on the outside. Not going to be able to do it. Might try for a switchback here. Not going to be able to find the traction for it. Still poking their nose down the inside. We'll have to back out and let Rally go. Donahue sees this. Going to start approaching very fast. Justin needs to start picking his battles here as he has one more lap after this. We have a battle up in P4 for P4 right now. Marvin and Walkowitz here. Donahue and McKeshner trade places. What happened?
Uh,
Oh, he called
Let's find out.
a little bit of that outside curb on braking, so it just sent him wide. Gave Donahue the position.
RIP to the AMG.
Really how it works. Santos is
SP1
yellow.
Yellow flags.
Santos
Looking
has
at,
been yellowed.
Unforced error just kind of loses it.
Let's see what happens. Too much gas on the exit curb. Don't think it fully matters. I believe Zico will take this one still. There's
Yeah, just turn a 5-second gap to a 2-second gap.
casually.
You know.
There's tiny battles kind of popping up here and there. Nothing too huge. Donahue is approaching Rally very quickly, as you can see in your picture window. You're going to watch Santos lead the entire race and cross the line for P1 here shortly. Rounding out the penultimate corner and bringing this SRA season to a close for Division 4, Santos has been leading about 90% of the race and will come across and finish P1. Right behind him, Zitko will come across P2, will claim that ever-loving Gold Drivers Championship. Congratulations, Zitko, if all of our points are correct. Do some donuts for you. Davis, not too far, well, far behind, but will claim P2 in the championship, but we'll claim P3 here at Silverstone.
Yep, we got to make sure we get a ducks in a row. We don't want to Steve Harvey it and announce the wrong winner, but I'm pretty sure Zico is our champion.
Pretty sure. As we have a good Walkowitz sideways.
I got him.
After crossing the line.
I've been trying all season to get him. I got him.
Good job. Did Walkowitz actually overtake Marvin there?
Yes, sir. Marvin had an issue at some point. Late in
Oh,
the race.
wow. I didn't see that.
Yeah, we had yellow flags in the picture-in-picture.
Absolutely insane. That's why Walkowitz sent it sideways. Good job. One way to do it. As Kyle Miller will also get their first ever top 10 of the season, I believe, for this as well. But what a race. What a race, what a race, what a race. So, Waleed?
Yes, sir.
That is another SRA season in the bag, per se.
Yes, it is.
Your favorite driver?
From the division?
Yeah, from the division.
I really enjoyed every time I saw Cube Master on my screen. I don't know what it was, but shout out. I feel like every time I saw him on my stream, I was having a good time.
See if we can get Ditko. Who's won our Silver?
We will need to calculate silver. I think it's either Rally or Recton, but I'll drive Zico up while you're doing that.
I believe no, you do the math here.
Oh no. Oh god, oh no. I'm doing math, you poll people.
Yep. I would just politely ask Zico if he wants an interview. As I believe he is our championship. If not, we're about to Steve Harvey this. As Waleed said.
D4 silver. Recton was 66 points ahead of Rally. And I don't have the current finishing order.
Recton was 66 points ahead of Rally.
Yes.
Rally finished, I think, P17.
Recton was near the back of the grid.
28th, I believe. So do that. I'm gonna get our good friend Ditko, wherever he is.
Ziggo's in the race chat.
He has disappeared from existence for me. Jacob Zitko, there he is. Jacob Zitko, congratulations on the series win, temporarily, because I'm bad at math, but I believe you took it home.
Thank you.
Just
I tried real hard.
Yeah, how are you feeling now, knowing that you now have to do a shoey, essentially?
Well, feeling great. I mean, I did one last season. Not to, not.
Oh,
no,
what a flex!
No real brag.
No,
Just keep it down. But I already got a shoe ready, set up, ready to go. I was trying to send some good vibes my way since last season patches crashed my game final race, and this one I just needed to make sure it kept going because of that 1 point difference.
Yep.
And man, I was sweating. Me and Corey were chatting a bit before the race. What a great dude, wishing me luck and all that stuff. But man, we were feeling the pressure.
Did want to say that at every point, every chance in the race, did you keep looking down at your relative, thinking, "All right, Davis is down here. Davis is here. Davis is here." All right, he's 20 seconds back.
Oh my! Every single time I had it, and then anytime I passed traffic, I was, thanking everything that could have helped me pass that person without crashing. Went off a few times. Oh man.
How stressful was that? Because Davis did end up starting in P16 or 17, but managed to get up like 12 positions in the first lap. Did you notice that while you were driving?
I did. Well, I noticed that the snake, all of a sudden broke apart on the track map, right? So something must have happened. But I see Corey Davis, totally resilient, persistent, getting right through, and all of a sudden he's in 6th, and I was like, wow, I thought this would be easier. It wasn't.
Looking like
Lightning
McQueen.
I know, seriously. And I swear, if he would have qualified better, it would have been his. But I got lucky. I'm feeling good about it. But I'm just glad that I stayed consistent.
Well, congratulations on the overall SRA Division 4 Season 6 win. Hope to see you in D2 next season doing the same thing.
We'll see. That would be quite a jump.
Quite a jump. You could do it.
We'll see.
So,
hoping maybe not, but that sounds great.
Nah, it'll be fine. So enjoy the win. Get that shoey ready, because
I will.
In the pipeline.
All right. Well, thanks.
Yeah. Have a good night, man.
Yep.
And I will say, Taylor, our standings have updated. Recton did manage to hold P1 in D4 Silver.
All right, let's go.
Finishing 40 points ahead of Justin Rowley.
All right, let me find him. Oh, sorry. I mean, let me ask first.
This asking thing is new.
It is, but people have requested. We can display them if we want. Let me see if this is working. Hey! Standings have been updated. Not here though. Ignore this. That would not be our correct stand. But I will trust your word that Recton will stay our leader. He's in.
That is what the information showed me. Although I don't see him available.
Nope, he's available. I got him.
Oh, okay.
Mark Recton, silver championship winner of SRA Season 6 Division 4. How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, did I actually pull it off? I figured after that race it wasn't happening.
According to my records, and I trust Waleed's judgment here in math, we could have absolutely just Steve Harvey'd this, but I believe you are.
Yeah, don't give me hope.
I give you hope.
Hey, if it's true, then I'm over the moon. That last race.
You had a rough one.
It was a nightmare.
I wanted to ask what happened, because we saw you a little bit, not too far back, but then we looked at you at the end and you're all the way back.
Yeah, so what happened is I got involved in the wreck at the chicane, either lap 1 or 2, whatever that was.
Yes.
And
6-car pile up.
And then I got like a minute of damage from that, so I pitted in the pit window. Then like 2 laps later, my internet drops.
Oh.
So by the end of the race, I was like 2 laps down from everybody. So I just kept driving, hoping the people that drop out or whatever boost me up enough to hopefully get the points, and it seems like it, I guess.
Does look like you did. I believe Justin Raleigh was kind of your only competition left in that silver standing. And I've just confirmed you have finished with 277 points. Justin Raleigh has finished with 237. So it looks like you have claimed the silver championship of SRA. So get the shoes ready because you're doing a show.
Yeah. I'll take it, man.
Hey, whatever you can
That's
get.
awesome.
Enjoy the party before you have to drink from a disgusting shoe.
Yeah, I will.
But have fun. Have a good night, man.
Thank you. You too.
Mark Recton, everyone. What a good guy. And I just want to see if I can pull up Corey Davis and Clark Gold. Because they have claimed the team championship, the leftovers, and by an absolute blowout, might I mention.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
235 points.
Yeah, that's not close. We might have to work on breaking.
May have lost while lead there. So it is just me. So I will grab Corey Davis here. They've got Corey Davis, and where's Clark Gold? Well, Corey, congratulations on the team standings.
Well, I appreciate it.
Can't find your teammate here.
I can ping him. He doesn't look like he's in the race.
He doesn't look very crazy. That's fine if he's not. I wanted to get you both up here. Congratulate you on the absolute blowout. Oh, he's.
Oh, is he coming in?
He pinned me. Where he at though? Well, while you're here alone, you were 1 point behind Zico in the championship going into this race. And you ended up on the outside of it. And I know it's heartbreaking. You got P2 overall. What was the thought going to your head when you had that 20-second gap to going across?
Well, going ahead into the race, at least at the start of the race, I kind of screwed myself with quali. A couple off tracks and just tried pushing too hard, so I ended up P18 at the start. And then got really, really lucky, going from I think 14th to 6th through the Vale chicane when everyone else had crashed. I was able to thread the needle somehow. And then I knew at that point I just had to get lucky, and so I just put my head down, let my race pace do its thing. But it was a really fun season. Really nice driving with Clark, and we managed to have a pretty nice margin of victory for the team title, at least.
I just congratulate you again, and along with Clark, taking the team championship by storm. Not even by a little bit, by storm. The gap is 235 points between you and Comfy Competition. You pretty much had the gap going into the race. Clark, I know you wanted to kind of show off, get those points for your team as well. Corey was more fighting for a championship. What was your kind of role tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I told Corey a couple of days ago, that I was fully prepared to put on my Checo helmet and just bring points home for the team. He was out there fighting for the overall win and drivers, and a bummer definitely to see him not be able to pull that out. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go in and stay out of trouble, keep it on the blacktop, and not die. So I managed that. I know Selena was pushing me most of the way through the race, so that was tight, but definitely a great season and had a lot of fun racing with Corey. He and I were both leftovers after the promotions. So,
yeah, that's where our name came from. We both lost our original teammates.
I love that.
So, definitely good to kind of be able to find somebody that was down to have fun and keep it on the track. So yeah, it's been a blast.
I absolutely love that. I just want to question on the fact you were leading probably 5 to 6 person train at one point in the race. Were you just being wide or just going?
I was really trying to. There was a couple times when I forget who was behind me, but yeah, he was in a Lexus, but yeah, he was all over, and I just tried to pick a defensive line and stick to it and make the car as wide as possible. I knew if Corey could get Zitko that it was a chance. So if I just kind of stayed out of trouble, it was a tough track to pass that in the rain. As soon as you get offline, it's all over the place. So you just kind of try and pick your spot and pray everybody else is paying attention, which everybody did great. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Well, I'm glad to see that 2 team championship drivers are actually the non-winners of the drivers championships themselves, which means more shoey action for us. So don't think you're going to be able to
we
get
still
away.
we still do
I believe you still do
shoeys. That's
shoeys.
great. Something to look forward to.
So don't think you're out of this just yet.
Oh, damn. Well, that's something to look forward to. Great.
Exactly. Great racing all season. Good job holding the gap, and hopefully we'll see you next season in season 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Have
Thanks,
a good
Taylor.
night. Well, that will wrap up our season SRA Division 4 here at Silverstone. We have had an absolutely amazing race, an absolutely amazing season. I can't wait to get it all started again in season 7. And if you want to join us in season 7, go to simracingalliance.com where you can join the Discord, read all about us. We are a fun, loving group of people. Just want to see everyone get better, promote strong, clean racing. As you saw tonight, outside of that lap 1 incident, usually doesn't fully happen. But come join us, simracingalliance.com. Huge shout out to all of our sponsors, everyone that has been supporting us as you see your names going across the league, as well as our partners. Signing off for the final time for Division 4 in Season 6. Taylor Molyneux, have a good night.